from other grandchildren are probably going to be present in what I have to say. I remember somebody told me, so I think my dad, you walked by and you looked at the cover of Hillary Rodham Clinton's book, It Takes a Village, and you scoffed and you said, I had a village. It's true, you did. And you took everyone in. I'm sure all the friends of all the many, many children you had would come over and have cider or whatever you guys did back in the 50s before the internet. Just kidding. I think that's how you got so good at it, because we grandchildren all have a deep love and respect for your wisdom and your care and your kindness. The twinkle that never left your eye, I think probably from the moment you first had a child, and a twinkle that was renewed every time there was another of us. We never felt neglected. We never felt like anything but people with you, and that's a big thing to a child. When somebody treats you like a person, and you were always the first person, I think, for a lot of us who did that, and you never stopped doing it, and you never pushed us toward anything, but you always nudged us in the direction we wanted to go, and that was priceless. You always had kind words for us, you always had wisdom, and you were always happy to share it. And you may not know it, but you've been present in every important decision I've made in my life, and I think the other grandkids would probably say the same thing. We call you, and we may not talk about it, and we might not be able to talk about it, but we just need to be near you at the important times in our lives, and we are. And thank you for being there.
I have something quick to say.
Come on up.
I guess
Chair of honor.
Chair of honor.
You need the talking stick?
Yeah, could someone please pass me the talking wand?
Here.
It has glitter inside of it that falls when you turn it over.
Just hold this yourself.
Grandma, one of the things I treasure most about you is just your intellect, and you're one of the smartest people I know, and until I got to college, I think I thought it was normal to grow up knowing all the words to Gilbert and Sullivan songs. Watching Zulu and My Fair Lady with you and Grandma when I was 6 years old, and it just felt so normal. And I'm so thankful that I've grown up in this culture of intellectualism and joy of learning and knowledge and wisdom, and it's really shaped who I am, and the path I've taken as a teacher, sharing that with other people. It's like, I remember you came across a book, or a bunch of your dad's books, and you found a book that was the history of 19th century West Virginia. And that would have been the first book to go into the Goodwill box for me, but you read it cover to cover, and it was just enchanting the way that you could recount everything you read in it, and you just, I'm in awe of the joy that you find in learning everything that other people would brush over as being inconsequential, maybe in the history of 19th century West Virginia. But I tell you what, after you told me about that, I wanted to read that book.
That's really funny, because I was going to tell Sherry with Ann and Rick some bits from the I was telling them how really interesting this was. Well, and actually, it is.
Nerd alert! So, anyways, I'm so
We're all gonna
happy
read that
to
book
be
now.
part of your clan of nerds and know-it-alls and snobs, and I would not
Hear,
have
hear.
it any other way. Hear.
I give him 5 years.
I just have a really small slice. You know, my mother, for those of you who knew my mother, she was a Democrat. Enthusiasm. And at one point, Carol was
Wait. Everybody knows that Dad was a staunch.
Oh yeah, but it wasn't about that. That was a whole different thing. When Carol was at one point working for Slate Gordon, and my mother,
Skeletor,
who none of her friends were Republicans except for Carol and Ed, but Marge found a way to come up with a reason why it was okay for Carol to be supporting Slate Gordon. Somebody, and I mean that was the depth of love she had for Carol. Is that yes, she could find a way to make that acceptable, and it just stuck with me because I mean. My mother was a
Rabbit.
I don't think she ever voted for a Republican even once in her entire life.
We had a running thing about that. She would say she'd never voted for a Republican in her life. And I'd say, Marge, I've never voted a straight ticket in my life.
beat that.
So that went on for 60-some years.
Yeah. Well, when we were kids, and we used to joke about it, and I'm not sure it was a joke that we didn't visit during election years.
It was not a joke.
Because between Marge and Ed, things could get awkward.
It did, but between the four of them, it got really lively.
Yes.
Well, yeah, but Carol
I
and
know,
my dad were willing to sort of,
Yeah, I know.
you
They
know,
were kinda-
let other people have their opinions.
Funny that you're arguing about this.
Anyway, I love that. I remembered forever that somehow Marge managed to make it. It was okay for Carol to work on a Republican campaign.
I have to add something to this because when Spencer and I got married, I didn't know this till about 5 years afterwards that my mother was terrified that we were going to get divorced and she could never speak to Carol again. so the joke is we were just waiting for him to die. Not really, but you know what I'm saying. But it would crack me up because she was so concerned about that. Although she grew to love him.
She always loved him.
Yeah, she'd known him since he was born. And
She was just, you know.
hedging her bets.
No, politics never came between us.